However, I'm talking about I'm Dr. Chatterjee is talking about another drugs which his name is the Helonias Dioica. The common name of the plant is the unicorn plant. The family is the Melanthaceae. However, this plant is also called the blazing star. Okay, so this medicine mostly useful in case of the female problems, mostly when there is a uterine problem, and as a result of uterine problem, the consequence effect has been started. So the medicine is prepared from the fresh root, which is gathered from before the flowering season. Okay, before the flowering season, this medicine is also gathered. It is a blazing star. Its name is the blazing star. It means that it is a plants which is to some extent looks like the flower looks like that of the stars, and medicine fresh root from the fresh root, and it is to some extent like the mucus. The remedy is chiefly a woman's remedy, and it is regarded as a great uterine tonic. However, this medicine mostly useful in case of the uterine tonic, and so many physicians who are using this medicine empirically for the purpose of the uterine tonic. So, here there is the sign symptoms of the uterine prolapse or uterine heaviness, uterus. So in that cases we must consider these drugs. Another thing is that if the sphere of actions of these drugs is especially on the female genital organs, so as because it is acts on the female genital organs, so there are so it is mostly not only related with the heaviness or prolapse of uterus, but also some other condition. In other condition, we can use it. This medicine also useful in case of the kidney, mind, and the muscles. So, however, the therapeutically अगर देखा गया, which is the mostly useful problem or useful conditions where we can use this medicine empirically. That is the albuminuria, anemia, breast affection, diabetes, menstrual anomalies, urinary complaints, and uterine disorders. So urinary complaints also and uterine complaints also, even diabetes, menstrual disorder, we can use the medicine. Next number, if we see the general symptoms or the character of the drugs, so generally it is called the woman's remedy. Already I told you in which condition it is to be used. This is the next question. It is used in case of the worn out conditions with those who are but it is a gone case. One type of gone case, and with hard work, those who are the hard work, mental and physical, in that senses, and they are very physically weakened by luxurious and indolence, and who complains of tired feeling in the back and the limbs. Okay, so the luxury and indolence life, and who complain of tired feeling. Another thing, who complains of tired feeling in the back and the limbs. इसलिए जो लोगों को females mostly थक गए, worn out condition में हुए, और with the hard work mentally and physically, and they are the all those who are the leading the luxurious life, and those who are the in life indolence हम लोग तो कोई काम नहीं करते, आलसी जिंदगी बिताया, आलसी जिंदगी, ऐसे लोगों के लिए ये मेडिसिन अच्छा है। सेकेंड नंबर क्या है ना, who complains, who are leading the indolence life, or those who are having the excessive backache or pain in the limbs, we can think of these drugs. Another thing is the consciousness of the womb. इसमें very peculiar symptoms हैं. They always thinks about the wombs, that is the uterus. उनका मन हमेशा uterus के ऊपर है, and sensation as if it is coming out. ऐसे लगता है इसको prolapse stomach sensation हो रहा है ये जगह में. Feels it moves when she moves. Especially कब होते हैं, जब से move करना चाहते हैं. इसलिए while moving there is a constant sensation of something heavy feeling or uterus is coming out. It is so sore and tender or it's something. So during movement, when there is a heavy feeling, pain in the uterus and sore feeling, tender feeling, you can consider these drugs. Another thing, feels consciousness, feels complaints more when thinking about them. It is also another things. हमारे पास और एक मेडिसिन है oxalic acid. Another medicine is calciraphos. The patient complaints are aggravated while thinking of it. So Helonias, oxalic acid, calciraphos, these are the medicines. So the patients usually feels better when occupied. इसलिए जब वो फीलिंग बेटर होती है, ऑक्यूपाइड बिजी रहते हैं, उस टाइम उसका प्रॉब्लम कम होती है. इसमें कौन कौन मेडिसिन है ना, ऑक्सलेज वांट्स टू बी बिजी, कैल्किराफॉस, बेडोडिनम, ऑक्जेलिक एसिड, कैल्किरियम, फॉस्फोरिकम, मेडोडिनम, ऑक्जेलिक एसिड एंड सो ऑन. सेंसेशन ऑफ हेवीनेस एंड सोनेस इन द फेब्रिज. इसलिए सोनेस फीलिंग, हेवीनेस फीलिंग and soreness feeling in the uterus, that is also characteristic symptoms. For the bad effects of the abortion and miscarriage, so in case of the abortion, in case of the miscarriage, you can think, or after effects of the miscarriage and abortion, you can think of the Helonias. Another thing is that if we see the mind conditions, so mind is very peculiarity, that the profound melancholy, great lowness of the spirit, weakness, prostration, irritable and fault findings to the natures. So इसलिए ये लोगों का हमेशा दुखी रहते हैं, low spirited and irritable रहते हैं and fault findings nature. She cannot endure last contradiction or receive least suggestion or restlessness. ये लोगों कोई किसी को contradiction सहन नहीं कर पाते और कैन नॉट रिसीव least suggestion. ये लोगों किसी का सजेशन लेना नहीं पसंद करते, ठीक है ना, और दो contradiction भी इसको पसंद नहीं. They are very restless, wants to move around and she feels better when mind and body are employed. इसलिए वो लोग रेस्टलेस रहते हैं, very anxieties, worries. They usually moves around and she feels better when mind and body are employed. जब भी उसका mind and body employed रहते हैं, busy रहते हैं, उस टाइम तो इसको अच्छा लगता है. इसलिए though mind and body are very busy, in that condition they feels better. These mentals are always associated with the uterine disorder. Mind and body usually लोग का busy रहना पसंद करते हैं. For the bad effects of abortion and miscarriage, और एक शब्द हो गया, abortion and miscarriage होने के बाद इनको all complex aggravation both the mind and body. Particularly the females are genital organs are too early, especially the menses are too early, too profuse. The blood are usually profuse, dark, clotted, and offensive. Profuse, dark, clotted, and offensive. Usually concomitant, anemic and debilitated states. The condition is anemic and debilitated states. The breast swollen, breast is swollen, nipples painful and tender, and so on. इसलिए an anemic patient, debilitated patient, breast swollen, nipples and painful and tender are the characteristics. So Helonias not only acts on the female genital organs, but also it is affected in the breast, nipples swollen and painful, tender, and anemic and debilitated states. Leukorrhea mostly found, lumpy and curdle. Leukorrhea ऐसी सिचुएशन है, foul, smell, curdle. There is another thing is the prolapse of the uterus is very characteristic symptoms of these drugs. Tendency to uterine prolapse due to the weakness and general exhaustion of the system. वो जो system है, exhaustion, weakness, prostration, even from atony, in particular जगह में शुक्र. In women enervated by luxury and indolence life, mostly those who are leading the luxurious and life, indolence life, जो लोग आलसीपन हैं, वो लोगों के लिए भी the uterus remains heavy, sure, tender and ulcerated. इसलिए uterus क्या देखेंगे? Heavy है, sure है, lame है, ulcerated है. Consciousness of the womb is very important. ना उसका यूट्रस का अंदर क्या लगता है? एक कॉन्शसनेस हमेशा लगते है. इसका कुछ भी काम करते हैं, लेकिन मन कहाँ पे रहते हैं? यूट्रस के ऊपर. जो भी काम करते हैं उसके यूट्रस के ऊपर सेंसेशन होते हैं. एंड इज मूव्स व्हेन शी मूव्स. देयर इज आल्सो ड्रैगिंग सेंसेशन इन सैक्रल रीजन. ड्रैगिंग सेंसेशन इन सैक्रल रीजन. सैक्रल रीजन में पेन है, aggravated from the motion and ammunition when the doing something. इसलिए एक dragging sensation इसके अंदर रह जाती है, and aggravation from motion and ammunition when doing something. Okay, इसलिए this medicine is also sacral region में aggravation है, motion में aggravation है, ammunition doing something. Particular जगह में बैठने aggravation होती है, अब movement में उसका आराम है. This is the picture. We will find it that is the pruritus vulva. In case of the pruritus vulva, intense pruritus vulva and external labia, which are extreme puffy sensation, hot, red, and itches, and burn terribly. So labia vulva becomes inflamed due to excessive irritation, weakness, and then itching. It becomes hot and red, itch and burns terribly. Even mucous surface of labia becomes red. इसलिए जो mucous surface होते हैं वो become red, swollen, covered with the cotton deposits. इसलिए उसके अंदर एक covered होते हैं, एक deposit collection होते हैं due to excessive itching. Okay. Next number urinary symptoms. When affection of kidneys is secondary to the uterine travels. इसमें हम क्या देखते हैं most of the time? ना uterine problem है, but साथ साथ urinary problem भी है. Urinary problem क्या देखते हैं? Uterine sensation of uterus is as if it is pushing out, it is coming out, heaviness feeling, tenderness, secondary, and there is a constant aching, tenderness and burning over the kidneys. ये भी एक symptoms है. There is tenderness, burning, aching sensation in the uterus and aching sensation in the kidneys along with the uterus. So two symptoms are mostly joined together. It is a very important medicine for the cases of the diabetes also. Urine is profuse and clear and saccharine with great thirst, emaciation, mental restlessness, irritability and melancholy. इसलिए in case of the diabetic patient, the uterine profuse, urine is profuse, clear and saccharine related. That is the BSL is more with great thirst, emaciation, mental restlessness, irritability, and melancholia. These mental symptoms are mostly predominant in this case. So, in case of the diabetes insipidus and mostly diabetes mellitus, it is a very important condition. Next, come about the albuminuria. It is needed in acute and chronic stage of the albuminuria. Acute and chronic stage it is needed. In women during pregnancy, with great weakness. Okay, during pregnancy, albuminuria with great weakness, we have drowsiness and unusual tiredness. So, with great weakness and drowsiness, we have unusual tiredness. Especially those who are having most tired feeling always, especially the females, and with chronic albuminuria during pregnancy with great weakness in chronic stage and unusual tiredness, we can think of these drugs. If we compare it with other drugs, that is the electric spirinosa, it is also useful remedy in case of the any sensation of the drugs. The hydrocodone acetica, it is also one of the best medicine in case of these drugs. Lilium, it is also one of the important medicine for the consciousness of the wounds. Phosphoric acid is very important medicine for the cases of the weakness, prostration and lethargic patients. Similar to electric spirinosa, debility due to the prolapses, protracted illness, defective nutrition, these are the positive factors. So, if we in general empirically देखेंगे, the female genital organs, the prolapse of uterus, the leukoidal discharges, the urinary symptoms, and albuminuria and so and so. If we see the clinical symptom basically, we will find it, there is albuminuria, there is anemia, waist affections, diabetes, menstrual abnormalities, urinary complaints, and urinary disorders. These are the basic characteristic symptoms of these medicines. Next number, if we see this Helonias diagram, it is in the other cells, it can be seen, it is a great uterine trouble. So those whose uterus is very weak and weak uterus, those who are weak uterus becomes weak due to the weakness due to any reason. It may be due to over taxation of the mind and brain. So this uterus may be weak and condition. It feels better when forget the remains. This is all complaints will aggravation while thinking of it. That is the lethargic, that is large when they start any work but gives to the fullness of energy and action. जब भी कोई काम कर लेती है उस टाइम उसके सब प्रॉब्लम धीरे धीरे चला जाता है, लेकिन जब वो अकेला बैठे रहते, वीकनेस होते, लेथार्जी होते, अनएबल टू कंसंट्रेट देयर थिंकिंग्स, और अकेला होने से उसका बहुत सारी जिम्मेदारी रहता है. देयर इज ग्रेट इंटॉलरेंस ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन, दे कैनॉट टॉलरेट एनी टाइप ऑफ कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन. ओके, in one sense they are mentally fatigue, disgust, and simultaneously physically also. Next, the sensation as though the chest was grabbed in a vice. ऐसे कभी कभी लगते हैं उसका चेस्ट में कोई तो भी वाइस पिक कर रहे हैं, स्क्रू ड्राइवर का मतलब इसको नॉटिंग कर रहे हैं. So vice is pierced to the chest. Affection of the kidney, uterus, and urogenital organs. उसमें भी तकलीफ है. Next number, consciousness of the womb and ligaments becomes the loose and flaccid due to the general exhaustion of the system and uterine displacement. इसलिए consciousness of the womb is very important. ठीक है ना? वो लोग हमेशा लगते हैं कुछ तो भी heaviness है, weakness है, और हमेशा मन यूट्रस का जैसे कोलैप्स ऑफ द यूट्रस था सिपिया में, लीनियम टिकनिक, इसके अंदर भी ऐसी थी. And the uterine displacement is very important symptoms of these drugs. The cervix become full of ulceration. Cervix is become very full of ulcerations with constant dark and offensive discharges. इसके अंदर क्या देखते हैं? Dark offensive discharges are there, full of ulceration, constant heaviness feeling is there, even the metrorrhagia is also there, excessive bleeding is there, and so on. Then intense pruritus and vulva and vagina. Excessive pruritus, vulva and vagina. Vagina में pruritus है, intense pruritus and vulva and vagina. Intense itching भी है, so and so. This is also called the blazing stars. The plant is to be in this position indigenous to United States or America, medicine prepared from the fresh root and the gathered for flowering. थोड़ा मैं और कुछ in addition to that कुछ information देना चाहता हूँ. So this is basically the uterine problem, urinary problem, incapable, exhausted person, this and that, and the chest becomes to be screwed high like the vise, like this. The Helonias action over the uterine region and is to be, therefore, it is to be regarded as a great uterine tonic. Already I have told you. The keynote indications of these drugs is, that is the consciousness of the wounds is very important. In normal condition, the autonomous action of the vitality and a perfect coordination is also occur there. So, vitality and the perfect coordination of the different parts of the complex machinery are never conscious of different organs of the system. When such a consciousness is to be drawn, it means derived from the different organs and derivative vitality and disordered conditions. Such then, in the import of the consciousness of the womb is very important. Consciousness of the womb is very important. So the ligament becomes loose. The ligament becomes loose and the flaccid, loose and flaccid due to general exhaustion of the drugs, and as a result flaccid system, as a result of which we have uterine displacement, the uterus becomes loose and flaccid, the ligaments are show. This is the problem of these drugs. And it moves when she stands in the organs dangles away. The result is sore and tender feeling in this region. The reflective sacrum is dragging sensation and undefined feeling is full of ulceration. Constant dark and offensive discharges are found there. More pronounced on the least exertions. More pronounced on the least exertions. Funds leans further, pathos to shadow. Suffering expression on the face. इनके चेहरा में लगता है इसे हमेशा कोई न कोई बीमार है. That is the menorrhagia due to the ulcerated os and cervix and common to occurrence. Ulceration का कारण वहाँ पे ulceration होने के bleeding होते and occurs होते. And menorrhagia, it has longer acts every period and drains are already exhausted vitality to its very bottom. As a result of what is happening, like weakness, prostration. Bleeding का ज़्यादा होने से कारण से इनका other complications start हो जाए, weakness, prostration. She loses more blood than is made in the intermenstrual period. Excessive bleeding as a result of weakness, prostration. हमारे China में भी, but Helonias है, even other drugs, electrosperinosha भी है. These are very famous for the uterine tonic. To adapt the discomfort, there is also intense pruritus and the vulva and vagina. A patient can have extreme pruritus and vulva and vagina. So, added to the discomfort, there is an intense pruritus, vulva, vagina. The labia and the pain and the pudendum are hot due to the over scratching on the part and red and swollen. They itch and burn terribly due to the excessive irritation, excessive scratching, and excessive burn. Mucous surface of the labia becomes red and swollen. and covered with the crude deposit. Dr. Danforth reports the case of the cured but pruritus so intense that it could tear the flesh out. कभी कभी इतना ज़्यादा pruritus हो रहा है, ऐसे लगता है जो कोई कभी muscles को भी, skin को भी slap out कर देते हैं. The cause of this was a thin albuminous leukorrhea from a congested cervix coagulant on the surroundings, but giving rise to further irritations. When the affection of the kidney is secondary to the uterine travels, we may think of the Helonias. The secondary uterine travels, we may think of the Helonias. Thus, when albuminuria, the result of ammonia, then notice weariness, languor, emaciation, debility, loss of appetite, paleness, chlorosis, constant aching, and an extreme tenderness in the region of the kidney. कोई जगह में हमारा weakness, prostration, tenderness, kidney होते, especially the right, with profuse clear, light colored urine. Helonias will enamel cervixes on the chest. Helonias has got peculiar symptoms that is very peculiar. There is a sensation of thought through the chest was gripped in a vice. ऐसे लगता है the whole chest become under gripped. Harrington reports a case of blood spitting accompanying on prolapse of uterus. Harrington इसको prolapse of uterus में very important थी. And long-lasting local discharge that he has cured with the Helonias. So local discharge also have a great importance. There is another peculiarity must not look overlooked. The patient feels better when they are forgetful of their ailments. ये सबसे बड़ी बात है. हमारा ऑक्सैलिक एसिड में भी कैल्शियम फॉस्फेट भी है. जब इसके बारे में ज़्यादा सोचते हैं, इनका प्रॉब्लम सॉर्ट आउट हो जाते हैं. So when things about the problem disappear. The moment the consciousness of the sickness comes to them, the distress becomes unbearable. जब भी उस बीमार के बारे में सोचते हैं, उसका प्रॉब्लम चालू हो जाता है. In this Helonias is similar to calcium phos and oxalic acid. मैं पहले बोला calcium phos ratio है, oxalic acid ratio. This patient has a rule very lethargic and dull when they start on any work, but very soon the lethargy gives rise to a fullness of energy and action. Mentally they are very melancholic, irritable and fault-finding. We notice great intolerance of the contradiction is very important of these drugs. They don't like to be contradiction. So if we empirically see the total characteristic symptoms of these drugs, just listen, sensation of weakness and dragging sensation and weight in the sacrum of the pelvis, with great languor and prostration are excellent indication for this remedy. There is a sensitiveness expressed as a consciousness of the womb. So every time there is a consciousness feeling. They are tired, backache of the females, the weakness shows itself also in a tendencies to prolapse of the uterus and malposition of the wombs. A tendency है malposition, prolapse of the uterus. The menses are so suppressed and the kidneys are congested. Menstruation कभी-कभी suppression होता है and kidneys are becomes congested होते हैं. With all, there is a profound melancholy. Patient must doing the something to engage the mind. इसके इस कारण है. Remember it from women with prolapse from atony, for women with prolapse from atony, even the atony, prolapse from atony, कोई जगह में atony हो गए हैं, उसके बाद ऐसे कोई problem है तो enervated by the indolence of the luxury life already told, they want to be engaged and engagement gives them relief. For those worn out with hard work, tired and strained muscles, the muscles become strained, burn and sleeplessness is the characteristic symptoms. In case of the diabetes mellitus, we must think of these drugs and insipidus also. The constant aching and the tenderness over the kidney region is very characteristic symptoms of these drugs. If we might see the mind, profound melancholy, patient is better when kept busy. The mind once always remains busy. When doing something, irritable, cannot endure the least contradictions, and so on. The extremities sensation as if a cool wind streamed up calves of the calves muscles, legs, feet, arm, and when sitting. Better when doing something better. Mental diversion also gives reliefs, worse promotion and the touch. The other relation thing, what is the main question comes, what is the potency? The potency mudra is the mother teacher to 6 attention. This will help a lot. Relation compare argymonia is a medicine. Painful kidney, impaired digestion and menstrual difficulties, bronchodia and clatter of bladder, cough with profuse expectoration, attended with expansion of the urine. Next number tincture, 1 to 10 drops. Electris ferinosa is also one of the best medicine for the cases of the uterine tonic. Lilium tipuricum is also another important medicine. But the Lilium tipuricum has there is the concentration along with the heart problem. Pulsatile is a very important medicine. Senecio is also Senecio is a very important medicine for that. Sternum metallicum, that also a very important medicine. So, whenever the complaints is better by work, relieved by engagement and aggravation by contradiction, and not only that, in open-minded, when they are not lazy, lethargic, at that time they usually complains aggravation. So this is all about this medicine, Helonias Dioica.